Whew. I mean, it's a terrible way I want to start the show, but we got to do it for our brother. He's a bell hobby guy and just a genuinely overly fantastic individual. With that, I want to say rest in peace, Tony. You'll be missed. Prayers to the family and everybody he's affected and his loss. We love you, and we're gonna miss you, brother. Rest easy. But with that, we're here. We're another week. We're doing the damn thing again, and we're gonna keep pushing because that's what we do. That is exactly what we do. And man, has it been a week? Weird day today too. We'll get into that in a little bit, but just a weird day today. But you know what? I'm privileged to be here. I'm glad to be here. I'm ecstatic to be here. We got my main man in the back, Kev. He's doing the damn thing, just hashing away, making sure we're good. And with that, I know I'm attractive, but I don't want you guys to have to stare at me the entire show. So I can't do this without my main dude. Some call him stunning. Some call him stone cold. Others call him honey. But I need to bring my dude on. So with that, let's bring on my man, Stone Cold.
What's up?
I should kick him off the screen with that Duke jersey, but we'll get into that in a little while. We'll get into that,
First, rest in peace, Tony.
Oh, hell no. You're not about to sit here and talk trash when I'm running it.
Hopped in from the back.
I will pop on every single time you talk. You talk. You do that. You go ahead. Tonight you make Duke, and I will cut this channel down. Have a good show.
And that's why, man, it's been a range of emotions, man, because, for a lot of us that don't know, we've been pulling for Kev for a while, man. He's been down and he's been doing that. And then, then we get to just the tragic news of losing Tony, man. That was hard, man. Prayers to his family again. Just.
You said it last week, like you're ready to skip February. It's already a bad month for you. And then more of this stuff going on. So we're almost there. It's almost gone.
What up, Latham? Yeah, and then today we'll get into that too. Today's a weird day for me because this is my 1 year anniversary of my marriage debacle split or whatever you want to call it. So we'll talk about that too, because I've learned a lot in a year, and it's surprising,
Yep.
We got these comments going off, Big Ben, Ben was Ben can attest to the kind of guy Tony was, Tony was just that guy. He just, for a little guy, he had this burly, raspy voice, and you could just hear him, making those comments and everything, and but always wanted good for his family and always wanted good for everybody around him.
Yeah.
And that's something we'll miss, but he's inspired people, because man, Doza, I don't know if you guys talking to Doza at all, but Doza, man, been hammering away at this music he's been doing. Man, dude's doing some good stuff, man. So I'm gonna try to incorporate some of his music because he's got the copyright, so we don't have to worry about getting copyright infringed on that one. So
I don't want to pay him either.
With that though, this is the broadcast, and if you guys could like, share, and subscribe, it helps us. We're just a little podcast trying to get going, trying to create a wave somewhere, and that's what we'll do. So go to YouTube, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, because this is all brought to you in part by the Dab Network. You heard them yelling at me. And then, we go to the Double Dropkick Podcast is back. We are back on Saturday nights, terrorizing the wrestling hobby and everything about belts and wrestling. It's phenomenal to be back. Tune in February 28th, man. It's this Saturday. We got the owner of C4 Belts and the author and writer of the Wahoo Robe. This is the robe maker. She's like legit Karen McDaniels. So this is going to be an epically phenomenal show. Tune in and check it out. Then you got these four degenerates from spanning the globe: Mark Maggard, Andy Bolger, Richard Ward, and Ben Walker, just terrorizing the bell hobby, the wrestling community, breaking it down, getting you the ins and outs of what you need to know for your wrestling fixes. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And then what they say, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And to beat the man, you want to be the man. So the only way you can be the man is hit up Colin from C4 Belts and get yourself the authentic Ortiz Chrome Rind C4. It is the most beautiful belt you're ever going to lay your eyes on. You got the casted gauchos, the casted wrestlers. It's keeping that belt on lock. That Chrome Rind is phenomenal. One day when I'm not poor again, that's first on my list. We'll get into that later.
Hey, man.
Check him out.
Tax check.
Yep, check him out. Colin at C4. C4authenticbelts.com.
You got that tax check coming in. Get you a C4.
I got, I'm trying to be smart, I am going to get me a tattoo. I'm a big Joker person. Bro, you're not lying, Ricky. But I'm a big Joker person. I think the Heath Ledger Joker is one of the best roles anybody's ever acted in I'm a big Heath Ledger fan, though.
Okay.
Like Heath Ledger and Monsters Ball and just, I'll even give him Brokeback Mountain, man.
I wouldn't know. I've never watched it. So,
you got
me there.
It is. But I'm a Jake Gyllenhaal, Heath Ledger guy. But
Okay.
so I'm gonna give me the Heath Ledger Joker on my forearm.
Okay.
The Joker's card. It's not gonna be the Joker's card. The Joker's card is gonna have the names of everybody I've lost.
Okay. Yeah.
Just, on there just as a little remembrance. Because. Man, it's just been long, man. And I deserve. Very rarely you'll ever hear me in my life say I deserve anything. But I deserve that too.
I agree. I will give Heath Ledger the close second. I'm an old school guy, and so I'm going to give it to Cesar Romero from the original TV series. Love the TV series Joker. Yeah,
phenomenal.
Believe that was his name, Cesar Romero from the.
Yeah, I think.
From the Adam West TV series. That's my favorite Joker, but obviously he is a close second in Heath Ledger.
Well, this is not on topic. We're kind of jumping off real quick, but we'll get back on the choo-choo train. But with the Heath Ledger Joker, all the Jokers kind of represented a different kind of personality disorder.
Yeah.
And the Heath Ledger Joker to me was just, I don't know if it was more of a personality disorder or more of he was just ahead of the game.
It's just, yeah. I mean, he did a phenomenal job in the acting, but the character in general was just amazing. Because
that there's a quote in that movie that the whole quote is phenomenal, but just what he says is right. He's like, you're only as good as the world allows you to be.
Yeah.
And that just pings on it,
But anyway,
I forget. Kev, what was the order of the topics we were doing?
Before I forget, cheers to Tony.
Yes, brother. Rest in peace, brother. Say hi to my family up there for me.
Yep. Nobody ever pays attention to those, but a little Elmer T. Lee little bourbon today. So for any whiskey nerd out there, Elmer T. Lee.
See, you drink so classy, man. I'm envious, man. And
Yeah.
I like my vodka. I like sipping on my vodka. It's chill. Just
I'd send you some, but it's illegal. So
the brown liquor, is I have a love-hate relationship with it.
Yeah, well, last time I got you some alcohol, I hand delivered it, so I'll try to do that again.
Hey, I appreciate the hand delivered. We're gonna talk about the elephant in the room right now, which is on your shirt.
Yeah. Yep.
And what's coming up.
I was just talking to Kev before we came on that Duke is playing Notre Dame tonight. So I was like, I'm torn right now. But I grew up watching Duke basketball, and I grew up watching Notre Dame football. It's who we had on the television growing up. So I guess I was influenced. And so even though I should be Notre Dame through and through, I've always just kind of been a Duke guy.
And we've talked about the whole Notre Dame thing. We've talked about I'm a Rudy homer.
Yeah.
You got it in the background, right? You got the jersey. No, you switch them around.
Rudy's in the corner.
Yeah.
Right there.
That's just iconic right there.
Yeah.
But with March Madness coming, who's obviously I guess I don't even have to ask you who your favorite is.
We weren't. And then we pulled out a huge win Saturday during double drop kick. We beat number 1 Michigan, and so I think we're going to carry momentum. And we're ranked number 1 right now. I hope we can keep it up and win the title. But there's some pretty good teams this year. So
I've just started getting into college basketball.
Yeah.
There's something wrong. There's something wrong with the NBA, and it just doesn't have that allure that it used to have.
Yeah.
And because I got out.
I'll run the show. It's okay, Platinum. I'll run
it. Killing me. You kill me. It just doesn't have the allure because I got out of basketball kind of about the same time I got out of wrestling.
Okay.
So about 03, I was starting to crank out kids and working a lot, and just so when I got out of wrestling, I got out of basketball. And I was a big Kings fan in the NBA.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So
yeah.
I live that Chris Webber.
I was going to say that 03-04 is Chris Webber era, yeah.
Mike Bibby, Jason Williams with the behind the back elbow pass to himself, like so, and that was a high of basketball, and it just I tune it on now, and it's just like LeBron flopping everywhere, and like it just doesn't have that appeal to me.
Kind of the same way. Obviously, last year was pretty big for being an Indiana guy. Our Pacers went to the finals, had a tragic final game, and didn't pull it off. But so I guess Indiana basketball's huge. Got the Pacers, Caitlin Clark. The Hoosiers are always huge into basketball, so. I don't know. It's just one of those sports that, once again, I grew up playing pretty much all 12 years of my high school. And so I'm the same way with you. Having kids, you can't really control the TV a lot of times, so I haven't watched it as much. But when it's on, I try to at least catch a little bit, especially around this time going into March Madness. So you got to enter those brackets and gamble your money. So.
I'll be truthful. I even watch more WNBA with Caitlin Clark than I do NBA. Like if Caitlin Clark's playing, I'm like, yeah, I'll tune it on and watch it.
Yeah. Sophie Cunningham's good. We've got a good team. It's cool to be an Indiana guy this year. Again,
I'm sorry though. I'm such an Angel Reese hater.
Oh, me too, man. It just yep.
The queen of her own second shot rebounds.
Yeah, her and LeBron can go find an island together. I'm just not fans of either one of them.
It's true. But with this March Madness, you were talking about gambling. So do you do the brackets? Are you a bracket guy?
I'll do like one or two. I'm sure my wife, she usually even does better than me. I don't know how. Maybe she's like secretly up there watching basketball while I'm doing these podcasts and stuff. I don't know. But she usually does one at work, and then I'll hop in one or two. With like some bourbon buddies and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't do super expensive ones or anything like that. So
yeah, the only one I do is my job's owned by Warren Buffett.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he does that March Madness bracket every year.
Oh, the Yahoo one or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll do that one. I looked it up earlier. I was like, I wonder if the closest somebody's came was 49. Can you imagine getting 49 of them correct? And you're just like, that you're a pubic hairs away.
It had to be like last year with Florida or something, like, yeah, or like some crazy outcome game.
It was a guy named Greg Neagle. His closest was he correctly predicted the first 49 games of the 2019 NCAA tournament.
Okay.
His streak was broken after Purdue defeated Tennessee in the Sweet 16.
Give it up to an Indiana team to break that guy's streak.
Dude, check this out. The odds of achieving a perfect bracket are so astronomical. It's estimated to be a 1 in 9.2 quadrillion chance.
Here's my thing now, though, with all that. Like 2019, totally different. Now we've got AI. Now we've got, yeah, hey, I wore the jersey today. We're good.
So that's what I was going to say. We'll get to that right now. But yeah, so
with AI, like with AI, how big of an opportunity does that increase, right? Like it's a different game now. So.
And at some point, because we've really seen the AI kind of super growth really in this last year, you think? About a year?
Yeah, probably.
Year and a half?
Yeah.
And we've already gone from ChatGPT to now they're like, we can AI the show if we wanted to. Like
I was gonna say, I had some stuff on my phone. I was gonna some stuff I looked up or whatever, but yeah, we'll save that for a different show. So
it's wild, and so like at some point, like it's gonna. I don't want to say AI will crack the code, but AI is gonna crack the code.
Yeah, I saw AI even created their own like social media something where you had to be an AI bot to join it or something. I don't know.
There was another one I seen, which was this one freaked me out. So the AI figured out it was going to be updated. So the AI created a backup of itself, so it couldn't be updated.
Wow.
So I was just saying, but so with this March Madness, I've always been a Michigan kind of guy.
Okay.
So I mean, they do got them, but still pulling for Michigan. So
yeah, it was a great game. They're still going to pull a number 1 seed, because I believe they're in a different bracket. So I would still say they pull a number 1 seed. So,
but Duke's always going to have a fond memory in my heart. Just when I was younger, that Christian Laettner inbound pass, where it was because wasn't that the team where Bob Hurley played on it too?
Oh yeah, and then they also showed during the game, they showed highlights of Chris Webber calling that invisible timeout that they didn't have, and that was against Duke too. So a lot of history right there if they both make it that far. So,
but I remember like watching that game, and then I think it was that off season when the Kings drafted Bob Hurley, and I was all stoked. Yeah. And I believe he got in that accident in the off season or something. He got in some kind of accident or something like that where it just never came into fruition. But he actually now owns a bunch of his family's from this area where I live, and they own a bunch of like car washes and like different kind of businesses. And so his mom, I met his mom before. And she was the littlest, I'm talking like 4'11".
He ain't far from it.
Yeah, 4'11", like maybe like 95 pounds. Just this little firecracker, though. So we'd go into the car wash, and she'd always be there running in the car wash. And I'd have my daughters with me and stuff like that. And she would always run up to my car, and she loved my daughters. And she'd always give my kids quarters and like just play with my kids. Dude, the nicest lady, bro. Like, just a swell individual. She passed away a little while ago, but yeah. There it is.
That's kind of like Jason Williams, another Duke guy, wrecked his motorcycle, didn't even make it. Got drafted and couldn't even make it.
If you go to the wrestling aspects, that's a little Kerry Von Erikish right there.
Yeah, but he still made it. He just had that fake foot, so.
Never knew it till I was an adult, till probably 5 years ago. Never knew that he had a fake foot.
Yeah. Side note, I still, since I'm a cheapskate, I've yet to watch Iron Claw. So I'm very anxious now that it's on Netflix to finally watch the Iron Claw.
Watch it as a casual fan, because if you're watching it as like some of these guys are in the belt hobby, where they can spit you out dates,
historian, minutes, I won't be a Mark Maggard watching it. So
no, you'll shoot your dresser.
Super Dave, all these Super Texas fans. Yeah, I'll watch it with my wife. She won't know what's going on, so.
But no, yeah, phenomenal movie. Watch with your wife, man. Throw it on there and just. I don't know how true to the movie it was, but his dad was a piece of work, man.
I can
the way you'll see. Get back to me when you watch the movie, and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah, so your March Madness.
Yeah, you're taking Michigan. I'm trying to think of. Yeah, it's like somebody said earlier, man. The top 5 have just kind of separated themselves as elite teams, and so it's always fun because there's always those upsets, right? Like there's always those upset teams.
What had got me back into basketball and watching colleges, because one night I was a little intoxicated and I thought it'd be a good idea to get on Instagram, and it turned out to be one of the greatest ideas I've ever had in my life. I recommend you do it.
Okay.
Get on Instagram and find in. I went through Instagram and added every Ethan Thompson I could find on Instagram.
Yeah.
Created 2 giant group chats. We call them the Council of Ethan Thompsons. But in that Council of Ethan Thompsons, we had Ethan Thompson that played for Oregon in one of those group chats, and he was in the group chat.
Okay.
He's playing D League right now.
Okay.
But so we have softball players, baseball players, basketball players. There's 4 of us that share the same birthday.
Oh, nice.
This chat's been going on for about 4 years now. And people just randomly check in. Hey man, just broke up with my girl, bro. I need some love. Or just random stuff like that. But yeah, we call it the Council of Ethan Thompsons.
Tell them to subscribe to the broadcast, because that's a lot of stuff we talk about as well. So yeah, I don't have Instagram, so I will live vicariously through you through this Ethan Thompson chat.
It was great. It was great, man. It was the greatest idea I ever had.
Yeah, that does sound pretty cool.
I'm good for one good idea here and there, but with March Madness, I mean, like you said, those top 5 guys, the top 5 teams are. It's going to come out of those top 5 teams.
Yeah, I'm just glad Kentucky's not doing anything good. I hate for Kentucky to win. Yeah, I'm not an IU fan, so I'm kind of glad Indiana's not doing well. Purdue is usually ranked pretty well, but they always blow it in the end. So it's coming up close, man. We got a couple weeks, and then we're off to the races of March Madness.
So that's your lock, Duke. Are you taking it? That Duke is your stone cold take.
Yep, Duke's my lock. Yep, throw it up there.
No,
shout out to the producer.
I want to give the producer shit, but I'm just happy he's back. So I'm gonna let him have his moment.
I was gonna say earlier in the show, like, even though he was ranting at you, it felt so good to have him back ranting. It just felt so good,
right?
Yeah.
But that's the madness. That's what we're going through, and I'm happy. I'm excited for it this year because this is the first. Last year and then this year is kind of the first 2 years where I'm like getting it going.
Gonna get back into it. Yeah, you get to control what's on the TV now. So,
but that's the other thing is I can't keep up with all these subscriptions I gotta have for everything.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not a March Madness subscription.
Yeah, you might have spoken into existence.
Because I got Paramount because I like UFC, and Landman is the greatest show on the history of shows.
We talked about that. Yeah, I don't have Paramount, so yeah, no. I'm
gonna give you my login. I'm gonna see if it'll work. I'll give you my login and let you try my login. And if that works, man, you got to watch Landman.
Well, I canceled Peacock since wrestling's not on there anymore. I am going to kind of miss the Masters. They show some Masters stuff. So I am going to kind of miss that. But I thought about maybe getting Paramount since I canceled $17 a month and it's probably only $10. So I thought about it.
I've canceled. I didn't realize how many subscriptions I was paying for. And then it's like, okay, so I was paying for YouTube TV.
I still
Live
do.
TV.
Yeah.
YouTube Live TV, Paramount, Netflix, Peacock, Paramount, HBO Max, YouTube Red, the Red, and then there was something else. So I've since cut out YouTube TV until football season starts up again.
Okay.
Because that's the only reason why I watch live TV is football season. And I cut out Peacock. I've cut out HBO. I've cut out Now all I have is YouTube Premium and Paramount Plus right now.
Okay.
And then obviously my Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
You know, and then this is the heavy transition, man. This is where we're gonna transition a little heavy, because you know what? When these things happen, it kind of hits home. It hits home to me. Like I don't want to say sensitive to the subject, but I'm affluent. I don't know the word I'm trying to say. I know the subject.
Yeah. You're educated. You've got a keen sense of it.
And then I don't know if anybody's familiar with, we were talking backstage. We're talking about Rondale Moore from the NFL. They found him deceased. Rest in peace. He lost his battle with his demons, and I call them demons because I'll kind of break it down to my battles with it. As far as, I don't know if you've ever battled depression or not.
I used recently, yes. Not so much recently, but I would say recently, since probably 2021. My wife's always kind of had struggles with anxiety, depression, and I never understood it. It's not that I thought it was fake. I just never understood it. So I couldn't relate, or I couldn't help very easily because I didn't understand it. And then I found the stock market, and I started trading the stock market. And you start losing, and you lose money. And then you realize, like, you have kids, and it's very easy to get depressed. Luckily, we're all past that. But yeah, I definitely, I guess I was never put in a situation to understand the depression, because when my dad passed, I was so young. I dealt with it my way back then and kind of grew out of that. But yeah, definitely real. Like, the mental health issues are so real. So.
Yeah, this will be a weird segue too, because it'll segue into my next topic.
Oh yeah, you take over.
I didn't, for 30 plus years of my life, I never ever once had depression, anxiety. If I was in a social situation, I was the life of the party. I thrived to be the center of attention. I wanted to be the center of attention. That was what I was good at. And you know, when my mother got sick, she got dementia, Alzheimer's, dementia, and paranoid schizophrenia.
Platinum, yeah.
I'm getting there. She got dementia. She had dementia, Alzheimer's, and paranoid schizophrenia, and so we battled through that. You know, she was what they called classified as a runner. So every time, you know, if you left the door unlocked, man, she'd hit that door and was just gone.
AWOL, yeah.
She got to the point where, like, the dementia and the schizophrenia, we had to install a security door so she couldn't get out. And so she would sit at the security door and just scream she's been kidnapped. And so naturally, what do the neighbors do? They call the cops.
Yeah.
Cops would come, and you got to show your ID. You got to do the whole bit. And then they finally started figuring out, like, okay, she's a sick lady. We show them, like, all the documentation, like, look, she's legally this, but it wouldn't stop her, man. She'd get loose and she'd kick the cop, and just so they'd haul her off to the hospital to put her on, like, a psychiatric evaluation.
Yeah.
But then she would, like, escape from the hospital, and we'd be driving up and down city streets trying to find her. And it just became a thing where, like, we could never decompress as a family. Me, my wife, and my children, we can never decompress as a family. And you know, we're gonna jumble these two topics together because they kind of go concurrent, hand to hand. So we can never decompress as a family. So our schedule became, I'd go to work, come home, pick up my wife and my kids. We'd go to my family's, my parents, make sure they're fed, make sure they're taken care of, make sure everything's done for the night. Then go home, make sure our stuff was done for the night, and then rinse and repeat.
Mm.
We did that for so long where every time we try to get out of town, every time we try to take a break, decompress, my dad would call and be like, hey, your mom got away, or hey, your mom tried to run me over, or hey, your mom tried to stab me, or we could never get away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so with that, you kind of,
Your roles reversed. You were the parent and she was the quote unquote child. Yeah. Your roles reversed for sure.
but with that, you kind of develop this defeatist mentality of like, I'm never going to get out of this town to decompress. So why even try?
Yeah.
So you stop trying to go on vacation. You stop trying to do this because you're just like, it's not going to happen. And oh, well. So, we're doing this and, my mom ends up passing in 2020 and she passes, then we roll into COVID. COVID shuts it down. California goes overboard, of course. People are just trying to go to the beach and they're getting arrested. Why am I gonna try? So that's where a lot of my anxiety and depression started coming in. Obviously, I was depressed. My mom passed and I didn't know what I was doing. And the anxiety started was where I couldn't get comfortable. I'd go into a store and I'm not joking. I'd go into the store and I would have to walk the aisles. I'd have to walk the same path. If I couldn't, it would trigger my anxiety and I have to turn around and walk that same path to try to like alleviate it.
Okay.
Couldn't go into a restaurant. If we were getting food, it was to go.
Was it the noise? Was it the people?
People.
Okay.
People.
So
where
you wanted to be the center of attention, now you wanted to be away from the center as possible. Yeah.
I wanted to be a nobody. I wanted to just hide. And so I go through my mom's stuff and I don't necessarily handle it the right way. And where Platinum was talking about in his comment, the voices, man, it sounds weird to say, but you start hearing voices. It's like a good person and a bad person on your shoulder.
Yeah.
But this good person, it's got a faint voice.
Mm.
You just don't hear it. But this bad person, bro,
he's got a megaphone.
Man. And it wants to take you down.
Yep.
It wants to see you just uncomfortable. It wants to see you unhappy. It wants to see, because what it does is it's convincing you like, hey, you're the problem.
Mm.
Hey, you're the issue.
Mm.
Hey, none of your family would have a problem if you weren't around.
Mm. That's tough.
And it talks 24 hours a day.
Mm.
Right? So I'm dealing with this and I don't know how to deal with this because I grew up in a household where therapy, like if you thought about therapy, you were like
weak.
Yes, you were not a man.
Couldn't deal with your own emotions. Yeah.
So what most guys do, hey, we internalize and I think I'm doing an okay job where I'm still going to work every day. I'm still putting a roof over the head. I'm making sure they're fed and making sure they got their iPads and doing the man aspect of what I'm supposed to be doing. And then we get through COVID and then Christmas night I wake up. Christmas Eve I wake up and to a phone call where I hear my wife say, okay, what hospital? My dad is sick, so I just think it's my dad going to the hospital again. So she's like, hey, your dad's going to the hospital. But, you know, as COVID is still kind of lingering, they don't let you in. So I'm like, okay, just keep us updated, you know? She hangs up. About 5 seconds later, he calls back and says, no, they're telling me to go from the hospital to go to the police department. And I'm like, I'm just waking up. I'm trying to put two and two together. And I'm like, police department, who is that? No, she's like, that was your dad on the phone. Your brother was shot. I'm like, he's dead. She's like, no, you don't know that. I was like, no, they don't tell you to go from the police department or the hospital to the police department. So we get to the police department, and turns out he was shot about 70 yards away from the police department's front steps.
Oh my goodness.
Like, we physically got to the police department and his body was still laying on the floor. Car doors were open. He was laying on the street in the corner. So we go through all that, and then it's just like, now my dad's got cancer, and it's gone from his kidneys, liver, and it's spread through his neck, going to his brain. It spread so fast and so aggressive, they had to put a halo on his thing. So if he was to sneeze or turn too hard, it could break his neck and he could suffocate.
Wow.
So, but again, I'm going through everything, trying to process, trying to run a house, trying to raise kids, trying to be a husband, trying to do this, but that voice, bro. You're not good enough. You're not doing good enough. Look at these people. You're making them fucking miserable. You are a loser. You don't deserve to be here. It's all these things. 24 hours a day. And you kind of start to believe it after a while, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm just like, damn, okay, like, is it really me? Like, and then my dad dies. And it's like, okay. Like, damn. So again, I'm just, but again, in my heart, I think I'm putting that facade up like nothing's wrong because I'm still working, I'm still paying the bills, I'm still doing that, you know, I'm doing that. And which snaps me into reality. So I get to the point where that voice in my head, and I'll admit this, and I can admit it now because I'm in a place where I've mentally never been better than I have been, and probably mentally I'm almost back to that point where I want to be the center of attention again. I do the show. I go to my niece's wedding where we're singing and karaoke, we're smoking cigars, I can go to the grocery store and go down any aisle now. I can go to a restaurant again. I'm mentally into a place where, and it's through therapy. Let me preface that though, guys.
Yeah.
It's through therapy. Never be ashamed of therapy.
Quick realization. During that time in your life, you were the Joker. You carved the smiley face on, so it looked like you were smiling, but behind it all, you were a mess. You were the Joker.
And that's when people ask me, how I got these scars.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's where I love that Joker. But again, like for people watching, like, dude, never be afraid to say you need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, and check on your friends, man. Like, I'm sure you had people checking on him, Rondale, but either it wasn't enough, or once again that voice must have just been too loud and he couldn't deal with it like you did. So,
the way I've learned is some people just can't outrun their demons.
yeah,
those demons are fast, though. Those demons are fast. So we go through all this, right? And then it goes to one of our last topics of the night is I thought I was doing a good job as a husband, as a father, and this is the broadcast. So this is what we do. This is what we do. This is how we talk. This is what we're going to talk about. Next week, you know what we're going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about what it's like to be a superhero.
Yeah.
What it takes.
No matter the distance, the difference, or the issue, once a brother, always a brother.
And
What a
I definitely want to
transition.
cheers to that.
Yeah.
I definitely want to cheers to that because that.
Once a brother, always a brother.
Again,
All right, Heath.
help us out. Like, share, subscribe.
We're
We're
getting
here to talk about
subscribers
every issue.
every video, every week. We're getting more and more subs, so keep sharing.
And that's all thanks to my man at the Dav Network.
Mm-hmm.
Which all this creates a weird situation for me because tonight is February 24th, and tonight is my 1-year anniversary of my wife leaving. I thought it was a normal day, and it turned out to be the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
And I can fruitfully and genuinely say that it was the worst day of my life because I had to learn a lot fast. I had to learn what I was capable of, and what I thought I wasn't capable of, had to be capable of to do.
And you had to buy a new toaster.
But you do everything. And it's weird because I got to the point where, like,
that's right.
it's what we do.
Yep.
It's just one of those things. It's just like you go from, again, we were together for 22 years. And it's amazing what you'll miss and what you won't. For me, it's like it took a long time to get out of the habit of, oh, something funny happened, I'm texting this person.
Yeah. Or your Reese's thing that you talked about last week. Yeah.
It's just it's the first holiday I didn't buy one. Again, I got one in the cupboard.
Yeah, eat them.
But, something funny happens. Something frustrating happens. You just want to see how the person's doing. But you can't text. And I went through the gamut of emotions, man. I finally, with therapy, I actually sat my youngest down. I haven't talked to my oldest about it yet because she's busy. She's doing her own thing. And, so, but I sat my youngest down and I kind of wholeheartedly apologized to her. I was like, I want to apologize to you. And she's like, for what? And I was like, no, because, this last year has been a long year, and this is kind of something that was for me, like, was weighing on my heart, and like I felt like I had to do. I don't even know if I felt like I had to do. I just felt like it was good to do. But like I told her, I was like, look, the things that happened. She has a boyfriend now, my youngest.
Remember you telling me that? Yep.
I'm still trying to set an example. And like I told her, I was like, the things that happened between me and your mom happened in an extraordinarily weird type of way, where it was a runaway freight train that neither of us could really understand.
Okay.
And that runaway freight train was all the stuff that was dropped into my lap, and I couldn't process, I couldn't comprehend, I couldn't get through. And then the fact that is your mother's left to try to piece whatever together. Well, she seen me be self-destructive. And I get to that aspect of understanding of why she would undoubtedly not want to stick around. And like I told her, I was like, but understand that you've seen me cry, you've seen me be angry, you've seen me everything, and all it was for was to fight for your family.
Yeah.
To do whatever I could to try to keep your family together. And I was like, even to this day, like, what do? Me and her go get coffee on the weekends, and we do our little things, and I still, hey, did your mom want something? Did your mom want a coffee? It's just who I am. Because I tried.
Yeah.
I tried to hate her. Bro, I tried like there's nobody's tomorrow just to hate this person for what I feel like is an abandonment.
It's hard to replace 22 years with 1 year.
And that's my thing, is just like, we were together for so long, for so young. We've shared I don't care who she's with, she can be with Donald Trump in the next 5 years. She'll never have any more intimate moments, and I'll never have any more intimate moments than we shared together. And I'm not going to disregard that because of ego or angst or anything like that. So I went through my gamut of, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get on Tinder. I'm going to give me some girls, and I'm going to forget about it. It don't work.
Yeah, I never experienced Tinder, so I have no idea.
Oh, no, Tinder works. But the action doesn't. I'm not, it's not a brag or anything like that. I was hooking up with girls on Tinder. I was hooking up with girls at work, and it wasn't even fun.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. It wasn't even fun. I'm like, what am I doing?
Just filled the void temporarily.
Trying to.
Yeah.
And it's not even like I was trying to fill the void of our physical relationship. I was just trying to fill the void of like, man, I'd love to go shopping with this person again.
Yeah. You just need that little dopamine high, and it just wasn't working. Yeah.
And so that's why I went through those emotions of anger and frustration and hatred, man. Like I said, man, I tried. If there was anything I've ever tried in my life to hate, is I don't hate anybody, and I can genuinely say I don't hate anybody because I tried to hate her. I fucking tried, man. and which leads me to this like weird like conundrum of like, now that I'm a year out, like the feelings are different. I don't hate her though. And I can genuinely sit here and say I still love her.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of love.
You love her, you're just not in love with her, maybe.
And I want her to be nothing but happy. I want her to have everything she's ever thought she wanted. And I want to show that to my kids. That's like, just because things don't go how you map them out doesn't mean you can't kind of change the map up a little bit.
Yeah. You had a fork in the road, but it doesn't mean the road stops. Like, it keeps going. It just doesn't go this way. You just keep going forward that way.
I genuinely have high hopes for us to be friends somehow.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, like, trying to hate this person, I'm sitting here like, how can I hate this person that was there when my mom died, my dad died, my brother died, gave me 2 amazing kids, and did all these things for me that I that I'm appreciative of. But the things that I had to learn that, maybe if I would have fought for myself harder, she would understand that fighting for myself was fighting for her too. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How do you make somebody else happy unless you aren't happy? You know what I mean?
And it's not that I ever was giving up. It's just like, when you don't understand depression, you don't understand anxiety, you don't understand none of that. You can't quantify when somebody says, I'm here to help, but they're here to help, but they're listening, but they don't understand.
Yeah.
And she tried to help as much as she could. She tried to help as much as she thought she could. And I'm grateful for it. I appreciate it. But now I look at it now as like, I grew up a mama's boy. So when I was growing up, man, mom kept my room clean.
Yeah.
Mom did the laundry.
Yeah.
And when I got with the ex-wife, she was a very good housekeeper and homemaker. So I was spoiled. And I can acknowledge I was spoiled. That being gone, I had to learn how to use a dishwasher.
Yeah, Ethan's washing his own drawers.
I had to learn how to do this stuff. And you know what? Albeit I'm not as good as other people. I'm not going to lie. I'm on Facebook Marketplace like, yo, Mexican house cleaners. Because all I understand.
French maid.
No, I don't even care about that at this point. All I understand is, yo, my mom was Mexican and she kept the house clean, and it was a different level of clean. So I'm just like, yo, I think I'm just going to give me a house cleaner like once a month. Just come through and just clean the house. But having to learn all that, I'm proud of myself and my maturation of becoming a different person.
Yeah, you should be.
Because I don't say it a lot, and it's not that I'm not proud of her, but I was close to not being around.
Mm.
And when I mean close, I mean close.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for me worried about my kids finding me. And so I'm forever grateful to them. And, I'm forever grateful for the time that I did spend with my wife. And like I said, for me, like now I'm just like, I'm in cruise control. I'm like, I'm content. I'm at peace. I just want peace and happiness for people.
And it speaks volumes that you can say that stuff out loud too. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna send this to her too, because, like, again, I
Well, I remember all the videos you used to make on your personal channel. Like all of it was.
And I need to update that too, by the way.
Yeah, humble. You know, it was super humbling and took a lot to say that stuff out loud. So.
And for me now, like I said, it's life after divorce is weird. Like, do I genuinely think I'll ever find a person that fit as well as she did? No. I can wholeheartedly say that. Can I find somebody that will fit? Absolutely, you know.
Yeah.
There's a right and left shoe, but when it comes down to it, I think everybody has a person. And, you know, mine for not, and that's the thing is like, I've had to learn is it wasn't my fault. I didn't ask for everything to be thrown on my lap the way it was.
You didn't give up.
I didn't give up, but maybe I didn't handle things the way that was best.
Yeah, but hindsight's 20/20, you know, like it's always easier afterwards to say you should have done something a certain way. In that moment, you don't know. So,
and that's what I'm going to chalk up to life, you know, and that's where I'll leave it. Is, you know, it's just, again, we talked about the Rondale Moore, and you know there was the cat from Dallas, that Marshawn Cleveland, a couple months ago. That, again, the same thing is just, I want to make sure people understand that, like, as a man, you're not weak for asking for help. You're not weak for needing to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
This is a therapy for me. This is a kind of a therapy for Steve. You know, don't feel alone. Don't feel like you're a bother or a hindrance. Reach out to somebody, even if it's me or Steve or, you know, Kev. Just, you know, talk to somebody.
And all these people in the comments, man, all great people. Reach out to them too. If you're in the comments, you recognize a name. All good dudes, man.
But with that, I mean, that's, you know, hit that like, share, subscribe. We appreciate, you know, we were putting ourselves out there, you know, and that's the one thing that's hard to do with these shows, is when you want to put yourself out there. It ain't easy.
And it's hard to do it in an hour.
Yeah, definitely hard to do it in an hour with Kevin in control.
Yeah.
But on Saturday, definitely check out Double Dropkick, because it's going to be a banger. We got Colin from C4 and the chick that makes the robes, Karen McDaniels.
So
Just
happy to have
killing
that
it.
show back.
Happy to have Kev back. You know, span the globe. We're going to actually get to the bottom of Richard Ward and how he has the ability to slow motion speak while he's speaking normally. You know, but with that, you know, it's hour goes by so fast, man.
I know, man.
You know, but I think at some point we're gonna think about upping the show to like once a week, because an hour once a week, it's feels pretty good sometimes, you know.
Yeah, man, it's good therapy. We got to make sure the boss man's up for it.
We got to, you know, make sure we keep him up for it.
Yeah,
that's exactly
right.
a platinum.
Yeah. There you go.
No, I'm gonna be nice because Kev's back. So this is gonna be his 1 week pass where I'm gonna let him have his Duke and Dolphin fans.
Do it. I dare you. I dare you.
I'm gonna be nice.
Welcome to the new broadcast.
Yeah. Here we go. There we go.
That's awesome. But no, with that, I mean, tune in. We might be next week, might be the week after. We'll never know. But you know what? I want to get to the bottom of an issue of a topic that I want to discuss, and it's going to give Steve time to really just research it.
I need to. Yep.
What constitutes as being a superhero? Do you have to have a superpower?
Yeah.
Is Batman really a superhero? Is my man, one of my favorite comic book. Hold on, let me get this right here. One of my favorite comic book characters. Is he really a superhero? Because he's a billionaire.
I was going to say, with Bruce Wayne and with him, is money the true superpower?
He's got good toys.
Yeah, maybe money's the true superpower. You got to tune in next time to see.
So we're going to figure out what it takes to be a superhero. What classifies a superhero? Is it an action? Is it a way of thinking? Is it actually being a superhero? We'll figure it out.
Yep.
But tune in for the next one, guys. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys, and I appreciate you guys being here to talk. And
hey, you too, Ricky.
It makes us happy, man. Me and Steve appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
With that, I'm throwing one more up.
Yep.
You guys, love you guys. Be good. Have a safe week. Reach out if you need to. We're here for you. Love you guys.
Yep.